They couldn't get to everyone, but fortunately, those who didn't get in on this day won't have to do without. Yoga is believed to have a calming effect on adults who practice it, and it apparently works on babies too. The dogs are all taught to sit patiently, and they tend to bring out the best in everyone. Most people call police when there's a problem, but that's not the only time officers are in the area, and they want you to know they're here to help. They came from all over the state and across the country.
Thank you, all of you, for being here with us. Welcome to our march.
Hundreds of protesters, led by a nonprofit human rights organization called Coalition of Immokalee Workers, on a 10-day tour of several cities ending right here in South Florida.
We came from the University of Notre Dame to support immigrant farm workers.
Their primary mission, to get fast food giant Wendy's to sign the so-called Fair Food Program, aimed at stopping abuse of farm workers like unpaid overtime and dangerous conditions in the fields. They're also asking for an extra penny a pound for produce to be paid directly to farm workers like these. We're here to get Wendy's to pay a penny more for the people who are working in the fields. McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, and Subway have already signed on, but not Wendy's.
Wendy's would rather pay Mexican farmers to grow their tomatoes in worse labor conditions than to pay local farmers and workers a fair wage.
So after rallying in West Palm Beach, the group headed out, led by 87-year-old wheelchair-bound Ethel Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy's widow.
We can hear it for Mrs. Ethel Kennedy. Yay!
They walked past the convention center,
Boycott Wendy's!
through downtown West Palm Beach and across the Flagler Bridge,
Boycott Wendy's!
winding up on ultra-upscale Palm Beach Island, where Wendy's board chairman, billionaire Nelson Peltz has a home, and where protesters were met by some local supporters. A good deal of curiosity, incredulous stares, and occasional hostility.
This is really sad. Come on. Really sad.
And so it went down County Road to swanky Worth Avenue, past exclusive shops and galleries, to a closing rally in a park along the Intercoastal. Organizers say they'd originally been denied a permit and had to sue the town of Palm Beach for permission to march here. It's not yet clear if they'll get the results they were hoping for. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. At first glance, Ty Kabasa seems like any other 2-year-old, willful, rambunctious. Oh, we're watching stuff! But if you look closer, there are some differences in Ty's behavior. Signs that led his parents to seek help for their only child, and eventually, just 2 months ago, to Ty's autism diagnosis.
He wasn't really responding to his name being called or making eye contact.
Yeah, just little things like that.
Yeah, he also used to say 4 words and then just completely stopped.
Yeah, he completely stopped.
At the Autism Speaks Walk and Rally, they were among thousands of people whose lives have been touched by autism. It's a brain disorder that manifests itself in a number of ways, from lack of eye contact to issues with thinking and speaking and repetitive behaviors that are hard to control.
Did you have a good walk?
Yes. Many autistic kids have trouble in social situations, acting out in ways that are often misunderstood by the public. And there are more autistic kids in our country than you may think. Experts say the number is 1 in 68, with boys being nearly 5 times more likely than girls to be autistic.
We gather right where we are. Thank you, everyone.
18-year-old Brett Preiser is a talented singer and guitar player. He's also autistic, though high-functioning. Brett says he doesn't worry about it, choosing instead to focus on his music.
I'm very, good at what I'm doing. I'm good at just being my own person. I just love, just having people watching me and stuff like that.
But his parents do worry.
All the time. We have brains on him. We keep track of him.
And while new therapies do help people on all points of the autism spectrum, parents of autistic kids say the main reason they're here at this event is to help fund research into the causes of the disorder so that the struggle they're all facing can finally come to an end. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. It's fast-paced.
Get it!
exciting,
Shoot it so wide!
and world class. Known as the sport of kings, it's polo with a bit of a twist. The first clue, those rainbow goalposts, because this is the Gay Polo League.
Gay Polo League Tournament. What a wonderful event.
It was founded 8 years ago in Los Angeles by a polo fanatic named Chip McKinney.
Growing up, I didn't have role models of sports athletes that I knew that were gay who were visible in sports. We're telling the world, including young children, that it's okay to be gay. Team sports are available to you.
McKinney moved the league's headquarters to South Florida, hoping to expand the gay polo brand.
GPL, man.
The league's championship tournament took place at the International Polo Club in the upscale equestrian mecca of Wellington, where McKinney played on a team sponsored by his own company.
Fan favorite, Chip McKinney.
The pavilion sold out, as did tailgating spaces, which went for about $400 apiece. While some participants really did show up first and foremost to watch the games,
No, this is matcha.
others clearly came to see and be seen.
Happy Polo 2016!
While the teams take the sport very seriously, the rules are flexible enough to allow both male and female, gay and straight players on the same teams, each consisting of all amateurs except for one pro. Polo does have a long tradition of grace and elegance, but many of these fans say this being not just polo, but gay polo, you do need to pack your sense of humor along with your parasol.
People don't usually associate polo and gay together.
Well, I think the horses are gay for gay polo.
All kidding aside, this league hopes to prove once and for all that being considered a good polo player should be all about your skill on the field and absolutely nothing else. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. Election day in the Florida presidential primaries, and emotions are running high.
Trump does not stir up. The people that stir up are the far left.
Well, if Mr. Trump gets elected, I will be moving back to Australia.
Some talk politics on street corners.
Do I agree? With most of it, no.
While others quietly cast their ballots, keeping their votes to themselves.
Do you want to say who you voted for and why?
No.
Since Florida is a closed primary state, only registered Democrats and Republicans can vote for a presidential candidate. Voters who registered with no party affiliation were given ballots with just municipal races on them.
I think they were voting for me.
But regardless of who was on the ballot, getting out the vote was still a challenge. This trolley gave free rides to the polling place in the old Northwood neighborhood.
Just let you out right here. All right.
In Palm Beach County, absentee and early voting lightened the load on Election Day, and as closing time at the polls drew near, voters lined up for victory parties. Donald Trump's at his private Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Hillary Clinton's at the Convention Center in West Palm Beach.
Are you from Canada?
Yes.
A lot of people say if Trump wins, they're going to Canada.
Well, we have some spare room, so if anybody wants to, just get in touch.
With only a handful of protesters outside and no reports of major disruptions or violence, many voters say no matter who they voted for, they're just glad they did it here. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV. This Kids and Cops event, designed to open the lines of communication between West Palm Beach police and some of the youngest people they're paid to protect.
I'm happy to be here. I hope you guys enjoy the day.
Sergeant Regina Bell, who's been on the force for 23 years, says the biggest message she wants to get across to the kids is
To not be afraid of us, and that we're not going to hurt them, and that we're here for them.
it's an issue that weighs heavily on the minds of some of these children, especially those who say they've heard stories about encounters with police that ended badly.
I heard that many African American men and young boys are getting killed.
They're shooting for no reason and killing.
Officers tried to reassure them the best they could.
It's okay to call us. We're not going to come and we're not going to hurt you. We're not going to take you to jail.
As for police who are dealing with their own stresses after a series of cop killings in other cities,
We're going to be here regardless of what happens. We're not going to go anywhere, right? You like that?
outside this room, Sergeant Bell says she's hyper-vigilant, but trying not to let fear get in the way of her work.
It's just like, hey,
We still got a job to do. We still have a community to serve. And we just have to keep doing what we do.
They're doing what they do in pairs at this point. No more working the streets alone, at least for now. Still, some cops wonder if they'll ever feel safe on the job again, and if those they're paid to protect will ever fully trust them. This is Sheryl Kahn reporting for WPB TV.